from My News 26 and CCTV. It's high school football, coming to you this season from schools throughout the region. This 26 Sports and CCTV high school football presentation is brought to you by Wolverine Power Cooperative and Great Lakes Energy. Your local electric cooperative is looking out for you. And by Munson Healthcare Cadillac Rehab Services.
Final game of the 2019 Michigan High School football season here on the 26 Sports and CCTV Michigan High School football game of the week as the Clare Pioneers are taking on the McBain Ramblers. I'm Derek Tate alongside Dan Gussert, and as we mentioned in our pregame show, we have two teams with a lot of momentum heading into on a collision course of the final night of the regular season. Beautiful night here at McBain High School.
Absolutely, and hats off to the athletic directors of both schools for setting up this kind of a game to end the season. That's one of those kinds of things that you got to be a little bit leery about. You don't want to come into this game with a must-win situation to get into the playoffs when you're playing a pretty formidable opponent like McBain is with Clare, and Clare with McBain here tonight, and formidable quarterbacks.
Yeah, we're going to have ourselves a nice senior quarterback showdown tonight. As for the Clare Pioneers, it's Shane Jenkins, the senior captain, facing off against the senior captain of the McBain Ramblers, George Brown III. But one of the things that, speaking to head coach Dan Maloney of the McBain Ramblers prior to this game, is we're going to actually take a brief second here and throw it over to the public address announcer for the national anthem as we actually wait, and we'll take a little bit more time as we're seeing now the Pioneers come on the field.
Claire's just getting out of the locker rooms, our final conversations inside.
But we're going to have a team that's 7-1 in the Clare Pioneers coming into town against a team that has won 4 straight in the McBain Ramblers.
Absolutely, and this is a big win for either school as far as playoffs and certainly hosting playoff games.
And we've seen McBain last week come up with a victory that very well may have clinched their berth to the postseason, as we're now going to go ahead and throw it over to the public address announcer for the national anthem.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's varsity football game between the Pioneers of Clare High School and the Ramblers of McBain High School. Will you please stand and sing with the McBain High School Marching Ramblers our national anthem?
Of the national anthem, not only by the McBain marching band, but also the golden pipes that you heard coming through on your speakers was the public address announcer here at McBain High School. Absolutely fantastic stuff. But as we mentioned, it is going to be a fantastic matchup between two teams with a winning record trying to carry momentum into the 2019 postseason. But heading into tonight, it's really been the defense on that side of the football for the McBain Ramblers that's made the difference, including shutting out Beale City last week, and the prior week only giving up 8 points in a 38-8 victory over Manton.
Absolutely. Their defense has been stellar, especially during this 4-game win streak. And, boy, I tell you what, talk about defense, Clare's no slouch either. We were looking at their scores, and what did we mention? 5 games, 6 games where they've given up 7 or less?
5 of their 7 wins this season.
5 of their 7 wins.
1 score or fewer in those 5 wins, which, yes, their defense is certainly ready to come after you now. On the other side now, it's Shane Jenkins, the senior quarterback, which head coach Dan Maloney mentioned. He's a dual threat, and that he's one of the reasons why they are 7-1 on this season. He mentioned this year, this game, that they're going to have to do a very good job setting the edge and trying to keep him in the pocket on passing downs.
Absolutely. You want to limit what you can from him. You know, if you can take away just part of that game, him getting outside, breaking plays, you can certainly put yourself in a good situation to get the W here tonight.
As you can see on your screen, in green and yellow, that is going to be the McBain Ramblers. They're going to be kicking off to start as the Clare Pioneers wearing white jerseys with green helmets. We are just about to get underway here at McBain High School. Senior night for these players, and how much does it mean to try to carry momentum into the postseason for both of these teams?
Absolutely. You certainly want to play well, number one. If it comes down and it's a close game and you've played well and you've lost, you're still going to feel pretty darn good. But if you come out tonight and you just don't play well, that's not going to be what you want. Colt Smedley back for Clare here, number 1.
The kickoff for McBain, Brent Bonico, and we are underway here at McBain High School. Final game of the regular season, as it is Smedley who takes it around the 10-yard line. And good job by the kick coverage unit. Austin Ealing, the senior, on the stop, and it'll be the Pioneers' first drive will begin at the 21-yard line.
Pretty even upside the lines here. Both teams pretty solid. Clare's got the beef. McBain's got the beef up there. Should be a good battle of offensive, defensive lines here all night long.
As it's Shane Franklin, the senior quarterback, the captain, working out of the shotgun. 4 wide receivers on first down, and he'll go to the air on the first play. Pass complete along the left sideline to Drew Schuster, and Schuster is going to be knocked out just shy of the sticks. Gain of 9, and you can see already that this senior quarterback is going to be a handful to deal with for McBain.
I think they've marked the first down as Gavin Sealand, I think, was out there on that tackle, number 3. He definitely had a lot of room to get that ball in there. Quick snap right there, and I might have caught McBain a little bit off on that.
And that will, as you mentioned, partner, it's going to be a first down at the 31-yard line. 1 pass, 1 completion so far for Shane Jenkins. And then you see head coach Kelly Luplow. He's going to allow his senior quarterback a lot of room to operate, working out of the shotgun on 1st and 10. A little read option goes to Colt Smedley around the right edge, and good pursuit from McBain. Dropped him right around the line of scrimmage. On the stop, that's number 1 for McBain, Sebastian Matson.
Yeah, George Brown III out there didn't make the tackle, but he strung the play out, allowed the players from the backfield to come in and make that tackle. Nice job. Good team defense.
Little to no gain, bringing up 2nd and 10 for the Pioneers. Jenkins to the air. That one in and out of the hands of Schuster. He had his man open, but Schuster couldn't quite haul it in. It's going to bring up the first 3rd and long of this matchup.
Yeah, he had a lot of room out there. Austin Ealing, number 7, on the coverage, slipped on his cut up field. Probably would have got the first down with that completion.
Instead, we have 3rd and 9 for the first time tonight. We'll see what head coach Kelly Luplow is going to go ahead and try to dial up. Staying out of that 4 wide receiver set is Clare. Jenkins to the air. Fires across the middle, and that's just out of the reach of number 34, Alex Warner, the slot wide receiver, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
And his co-patriot there, number 34 from McBain, Daniel Rodenbaugh, on the coverage. There wasn't a lot of room there. But the Clare Pioneer offensive line looked pretty good as they have had solid job protecting their senior quarterback.
They may have to try to protect him here, but it is Jenkins who bails out and looks like he's back in a punting formation, back to receive for McBain. It's Gavin Sealand. And Sealand charging on it at the 40-yard line. Sealand's got some running room in the Clare territory and finally shoved out of bounds just past the 45-yard line. Great field position for the opening drive for the Ramblers.
Might have been a flag on the play there. I'm not sure. Looked like I saw something fall. We'll see. That was a heck of a grab by him right there as he picked that up on the run forward.
You know, when you have those short punts for anybody back there, especially in high school football, you hold your breath a little bit when they charge, but Gavin Sealand, one of the best playmakers of this McBain offense, so he gives them great field position to start their opening drive in Clare territory. And we'll see what the senior quarterback, George Brown III, can generate on this opening drive. 1st and 10 for McBain. Sealand on a jet sweep, and that one snuffed out. That one never stood a chance. In the backfield is Kyle Yost on the stop for the Pioneers.
Yeah, and he wasn't alone. There's a couple other players there that were ready to make a tackle also.
Loss of 3. That's going to bring up 2nd and 13 for this Ramblers offense. And it's led by their emotional leader, the senior quarterback, George Brown III. Working out of the shotgun, Rodenbaugh in motion. And to the air goes McBain, and that one batted down by the linebacker, Alex Warner.
Yeah, out the flat there he had Daniel Rodenbaugh, probably for a 5 to 6, 7 yard gain on that. Just batted it away.
We talked about this matchup heading into tonight. Both teams playing very good defense, and we see the defenses showing up early in this contest. And we've got 3rd and 13 on the way for the Ramblers. Sealand in motion. Brown rolling left. He's in trouble. Now tries to heave it across the middle of the field. That one intercepted by Shane Jenkins. Tackled by Ethan Barton at the 26-yard line. An ill-advised throw and the first turnover of the night.
Yeah, almost turns out to be just a short punt on the situation as McBain had great field position anyway. I don't think they would have gone for it at that point of the field on 4th down, but a nice little run back right there by Clare too.
Shane Jenkins, not only does he handle the quarterbacking duties, but also does quite a bit of work in the secondary for the Pioneers. Now they're set up with a 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line, their second possession of this game.
Rough snap there, and that's turnover.
That ball's on the floor, and we may have back-to-back turnovers, and yes, we do. Owen Bonico falls on it for McBain, and the Pioneers give it right back.
Yeah, I don't know if the snap was early or if the motion man was late, but both kind of showed up at the same time, and turnover, and it bounced right forward into Bonico's hands.
Two teams that are playing very good football with ill-advised turnovers on consecutive plays, and now we get 1st and 10 for McBain at the 23-yard line. New quarterback under center. That gives to George Brown. Now he's handling some running back duties. He plunges inside the 20-yard line. Solid gain on 1st down.
Yeah, when he moves to that back position, he sure gives them an added dimension. He's just such a strong power runner back there.
Deacon Dottie handling some of the duties under center out of the T formation. 2nd down. Here's Gavin Sealand inside the 15-yard line, and he's going to be very close to the sticks. Brought down by John Bushy.
And it is a 1st down.
How do you like the change of pace here from McBain? Came out in the shotgun on their first drive, decided, they didn't really have much success. Now they're going to that T formation and trying to run the football.
Yeah, they're going to their power game right now, and they've been quick off the ball. That offensive line's moving some people right now.
And speaking of moving some people, George Brown III moving some Pioneer defenders inside the 10-yard line. Another solid gain on 1st down. Gain of 5 brings up 2nd down for McBain inside the 10-yard line.
That's 3 runs in a row off tackle left or right that McBain's looked pretty solid on. Those runners have been 4 or 5 yards downfield before they've been hit.
2nd down, and here's the counter to Gavin Sealand. But good penetration from the Clare defense. Drops him right around the line of scrimmage. No gain, bringing up an important 3rd down here early on in the first quarter of this 26 Sports and CCTV Game of the Week.
On the stop, number 66, Kyle Yost.
We'll see what McBain does now. They brought in a couple of subs off the bench, and they've got back to their split formation here.
Out of the shotgun on 3rd down. Brown rolling right, looking for Rodenbaugh, and that's a little high for his intended target. That's going to fall to the ground and bring up a decision here for head coach Pat Maloney on 4th and 5.
I would imagine they'll probably go for it at this point. You've got to rely and you got to trust your defense. They've been so good for quite some time, and if you don't get the first down, you pin Clare back and make them go a long distance on the field.
And you all right, partner, as head coach Maloney is going to keep his offense out there on 4th and 5. Brown dropping back to pass, got his man on the wheel, just in and out of the hands. It was there, but couldn't quite haul it in was Caden McGillis.
Yeah, he slipped out the backfield right there and was pretty wide open, just a little off on the throw right there. And it's turnover on downs, and Clare will come back, and they are already on the line with their spread offense ready to go.
Missed opportunity for the Ramblers. And we stay scoreless now, 1st and 10 at the 8-yard line for the Pioneers. Jenkins gives to Colt Smedley up the middle, and the Ramblers defense is having none of that. Little to no gain on the play.
Pretty conservative call. You kind of expect that, I think, down inside your 10-yard line on first down.
We saw both offenses, including this Pioneer offense, on consecutive possessions, turn the ball over. So it looks like head coach Leplow maybe wants to slow this pace down a little bit, try to get his offense into a little bit of a rhythm. Gain of 1, bringing up 2nd and 9 for Clare. Smedley sidesteps one McBain tackler and past the 10-yard line, stacked up around the 12. Solid gain of around 3 or 4, but is going to bring up another 3rd down for the Pioneers.
It's an interesting look on defense right there is we consistently see number 34 for Clare.
Rodenbaugh.
Nope, for Clare. That's
my apologies.
Warner, I think it is.
Yes.
And he, there's nobody within 15, 20 yards of him, and right now there's nobody on him now. They're just sliding over. So a little tighter coverage this time. There they are looking for him, and he's open.
You called it out. Play-by-play right there. I mean, prognostication is what I call that. The out route complete to Warner in the slot. He's got the first down, and that's the second first down of this game for the Pioneers. One thing this Pioneer offense is going to do is they're going to spread you out. They've been running every single play out of the 4 wide receivers out of the shotgun.
And McBain's up tight on all the coverage here. We'll see.
Jenkins flushed out of the pocket. On the run, that pass falls incomplete, intended for his favorite target, Drew Schuster. That's his 3rd intended pass so far in this game. This one falls incomplete.
So you're seeing Coach Maloney and the Ramblers adjust and alter their pass coverages, if you will, just to make different looks, give Clare something to think about.
We saw Schuster on that first drive with a big cushion. They just ran a couple 8-yard hitch routes. Caught the first one, dropped the second one. Here, that's an incomplete pass. Brings up 2nd and 10 with 6:22 remaining in the opening quarter. Jenkins,
We got a
fake on the
here.
jet sweep, and there's Warner back around the other side. But look at George Brown III, the senior linebacker, snuffing that one out and stopped for no gain.
Yeah, he avoided a tackle in the backfield right there. Probably would have been a 3-4 yard loss. Very shifty kid, as you can see, but McBain with great total team coverage on that limited that to just a short gain.
And it was head coach Maloney saying how important the senior linebacker George Brown III is to this defense. And they've got a challenge, 3rd and 9 for the Pioneers. Jenkins to the air across the middle. That one nearly intercepted by Gavin Seelan. Broken up, and the senior safety all over that one.
Yeah, Gavin's playing center field, and he has been the whole game back there. And this is the first time they've thrown down the middle, and he was all over that.
He was mentioning, was Coach Maloney, of the head coach of the Ramblers, saying that this defense has been able to create turnovers. They did on the second drive of the game, as they do line up in the shotgun on 4th down, but Jenkins, as similar as he did on the first possession of the game, bails out. Looks like they're going to go ahead and punt this one to Seeland, who's waiting around midfield. And that one is going to take a favorable bounce for the Pioneers just outside into Ramblers territory. But McBain's defense standing strong on 2 of the first 3 possessions.
How about we give a big shout out to our sponsors here tonight, Derek? We've got Pizza Plus at Cadillac. Cadillac's local source for pizza and sandwiches for over 50 years now. We've got Doug Glass at Cadillac for all your home and auto glass needs. We've got Builder's First Source, your first source for flooring. Stop by and see them today, and we'll mention a few more in a few moments.
Hard to get all those sponsors in one read. So we got 1st and 10 for the Ramblers. Give goes to Gavin Seelan, and he's powering his way into Clare territory, and that's going to bring up 2nd down after a gain of 6.
Sponsoring also tonight, LC Materials, the concrete experts, Fox Motors of Cadillac, your local Ford and Toyota dealerships, and our presenting sponsor tonight is Munson Healthcare Cadillac Hospitals.
Got to thank all of our sponsors that allow us to call these high school games. We're going to be coming at you with more than just football action the rest of the year here on 26 Sports and CCTVs. We've got 2nd and 4 and a designated quarterback sweep. George Brown III, and look at him just bowl his way inside the 40-yard line, but there is a flag back towards the line of scrimmage.
And that flag came out very, very quickly. I got to believe that's probably going to be a hold against McBain. You see the Clare players clapping some hands out there.
Yeah, we do see number 65.
Oh, it's a chop block. Chop block was the signal on that. Yeah, so we're doing some winter sports right around the corner here. I was talking to one of our camera operators out there, Damian Brooks. He's excited. He loves to get in the gym and especially the ice rink, as we will cover Cadillac High School boys and girls basketball and Cadillac High School hockey here starting in a few weeks.
Damian Brooks, got to tip my hat to that young man. He's been here for every single one of these 2019 Michigan High School football game of the week. Absolutely a soldier for us.
Absolutely.
Manning the weather out there. It's been some rough Friday nights here.
At least tonight's a dry one, absolutely. Also out there tonight, we got running cameras with him is Caden Darrow. We've got Madison Speen and Ashley Kohlberg, and our director tonight, back in the truck, Hannah Crouch.
And we've got like you mentioned, a chop block, which backs the Ramblers all the way back up to their 40-yard line. They've got 2nd and 17 on the horizon. And here's Brown. Tucks it down, and this one in and out of the hands
and
of
another flag down.
Rodenbaugh, broken up by Josh Gold. And
I tell you what, if he could have held on to that ball, and I think he had time, that could have turned into a big gain as McBain, I couldn't catch a number on that, had a guy breaking free right down the center of the field just past George Brown. But it might have come back with the flag anyway.
We'll see here in a second. We do see some pointing in the direction of the Clare Pioneers, but we'll get some clarification. Tonight's crew: head referee Kevin Taylor, umpire Chris Gibson, line judge Steve Foltz, back judge Vince Foltz, and then head linesman Jim Frezzel. It's a thankless job, but we thank him here on 26 Sports and CCTV.
Absolutely. We're always looking for, I'm not sure. Penalty is declined. It was against McBain.
Illegal man downfield on the McBain Ramblers. That one is declined due to the incomplete pass, so it's going to be 3rd and long for the McBain Ramblers. We'll see what head coach Pat Maloney dials up as it's George Brown III working out of the shotgun and 4 wide receivers.
Yeah, I think you're going to look maybe for Sealand here or anything with George Brown, maybe just running it. You don't want to make the turnover right here.
Brown, play action and rolling right. He's in trouble and tries to dump it off. It's Rodenbaugh who hauls it in.
Breaks the tackle.
Slips a tackle, and he's still going and cut down.
What a tackle right there.
Drew Schuster with a shoestring tackle.
He's probably saved 15 to 20 yards on that tackle. Probably the first down for sure.
Just enough to get him down, and we see the Ramblers offense stay out on the field, but we'll see if they do something similar.
That Clare defensive line has been in the quarterback's face here on several attempts here early on in this game.
And here's George Brown III, a one-step punt, and that's a high end-over-end punt. And that one's going to die right around where it landed at the 33-yard line. That's only going to net 18 yards on that punt. However, both defenses, despite early turnovers forced, still continuing to play good football as we're still scoreless with 3:51 remaining in the opening quarter between the Clare Pioneers and the McBain Ramblers.
third possession right now for the Clare offense. This might be their best starting position. I don't remember where the first one started at.
Well, this 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. Handoff goes straight up the middle to Coach Smedley. Smedley able to put his shoulder down and gain a couple yards after contact past the 35-yard line. Gain of 4. We haven't seen much running room available for either of these teams to start this game. As it is Jenkins on the quarterback keeper.
Well scouted out right there as they tried to run maybe a little counter right there, and quarterback kept it, and the far side of that McBain defense stayed home, played position well.
Trevor Bode on the stop. Last week he had an interception against Beale City that led to a touchdown that flipped some of the momentum of that game. Loss of 2 brings up 3rd and 7 for the Pioneers. Jenkins back to pass. Fires across the middle, and turning into a defender was his intended target. Alex Warner had to bat that one away because if not, Rodenbaugh might have had an interception.
It's the second time we've seen that route and that look, and both times the coverage has been excellent.
Well, they have the 2 deep safeties with Rodenbaugh and Gavin Seaman. They ran that slot post right at Rodenbaugh. That pass a little out in front. Actually, a very good job of Warner turning it into a defender. Brings up 4th and 7 for Clare. And Jenkins will bail out. And here's the 3rd punt of the night for Clare. And this one's a booming punt all the way back to the 30-yard line. Fair catch called for at the 30-yard line and made by Gavin Seelan. So the 4th possession for the McBain Ramblers, but by far this is the one they're pinned back the furthest, as the first 3 possessions have come up empty.
Yeah, both teams, like we expected, solid defensively. Offense is sputtering a little bit. McBain had a golden opportunity in the game with some deep position, and certainly had an open look at a touchdown, just unable to capitalize. We'll see how they do here on this possession.
It's Deacon Dottie under center. T formation. Give goes to Gavin Seelan around the left edge, and this one, nothing doing. The Clare defenders led by Drew Schuster and the other linebacker, number 55, Gage Beckner on the stop. No gain on the play.
Yeah, so far as McBain has looked to run anything wide, they have been able to unable to get any yardage, but their power game, between guard and tackles looked a little better for them. You can definitely see that the Clare Pioneer defense, not only are they good size boys, they're very quick too.
2:12 remaining in the opening quarter, 2nd and 10. Carry goes straight up the middle to Dan Rodenbaugh. Rodenbaugh able to fall forward to around the 32-yard line. That should be a gain of a couple. Brings up another 3rd and long as this Clare Pioneer defense, tough sledding on the ground here in the first quarter for the Ramblers.
That's a big call early in the game right now as it's 3rd and 7. I would look for McBain to maybe set up a screen right here. Let's see what they've got, as that Clare line has been in quarterback's face all game long.
And it's George Brown the 3rd.
And I was wrong, as always.
Designated quarterback keeper right up the middle, and Brown difficult to bring down, but up to the challenge is Josh Gold. And he brings him down about 2 yards shy of the sticks, bringing up 4th and a long 2, just over a minute remaining. And we'll see if head coach Pat Maloney wants to go forward or continue to play the field position game with his defense playing well.
Yeah, this is an interesting call right here. I think he's opting for the safe call, and I think that's the right call. And he gets a heck of a punt off.
Now that first punt only went 18 yards. This one doubles that, as it's all the way down to the 13-yard line. A booming punt from George Brown III, which flips the ever so important field position, as we're still knotted up 0-0 right around the 1-minute mark here on the 26 Sports and CCTV Michigan High School Football Game of the Week. Dan, we saw Clare last week. They dropped 68 points on Farwell last week, and we've seen this McBain defense only surrender 2 first downs on the first 4 possessions.
You know what? And you're looking at the difference of talent level right there between the two schools. This McBain team is very athletic, very good-sized kids, and they came ready to play tonight.
And Jenkins on the quarterback keeper around the left edge. And he's brought down by the outside linebacker, number 17, Trevor Bode.
McBain, playing in the Highland Conference. Highland Conference, as far as football is concerned, one of the stronger conferences in northern Michigan year in and year out. And it gets you well prepared to play anybody coming non-conference, whether that team's 7-1 and scored 68 points the week before, you are well prepared to play them.
As Jenkins took his first snap under center with a handoff on the triple option to Colt Smedley up the middle. Gain of 1, and that is going to be the final play of the first quarter unless they get this one off, which they do, and it's Jenkins that's going to the air, and it's picked off. That one, Caden McGillis up the right sideline. He's into the end zone, a pick 6, touchdown, Ramblers.
Well, Clare went to the well one too many times right there as they looked for that quick out again, and McBain read it well, and just like that, 6-0.
And the McBain defense, and it was head coach Dan Maloney saying the defense has made turnovers and turned them into points, which has been so crucial in this 4-game winning streak for the Ramblers. And that one, Caden McGillis said, I've seen 4 hitches so far tonight. I'm jumping this one. He takes it to the house. On to attempt the extra point. This kick is
blocked
off.
A little bit. You got a foot on or hand on that just a little bit.
What a way to end the first quarter, even though the extra point is no good. It's the Ramblers defense that gets them on the board on the final play of the first quarter. They lead 6-0 over the Clare Pioneers on your 26 Sports and CCTV Michigan High School Football Game of the Week. We'll be right back with second quarter action.
I'd like to have a